This is the great legend coming at you live, Comic Core Roundtable. Now, I'm going to go ahead and steal it from Kat because I want to see how it's at. And I'm talking about this. Warning, the following content may not be suitable for younger audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Hashtag fuck Copa. All right, we're bringing our people in. Let me introduce our first guest of the night. And she ain't no guest. She's the co-host with the most, along with her co-host, the man that sometime is in the dark. And I'm talking BKR Mark. What's going on, you two?
How I'm in the dark.
Well, it was the only thing that would
You're
rhyme
lost.
with dark, just cheap rhyme. And
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Oh,
Mark,
hi,
don't be hitting her tonight because we have a great show in store. Kat Wren, tell us a little more.
I'm just not going to take that out of context.
Dude, you came up with a hell of a topic for tonight. We are going to be talking about our experiences and the reactions of our friends and family, what it is like to be a nerd in this world, and how much we struggle and strive.
That's what it's all about. We're going to have a great topic tonight.
Oh, yeah.
And before we get into the topic, we're going to bring out our next guy. He needs no introduction. He's the one, the only. Let me tell you, fans, he's the only reason I still do this shit, quite honestly. And I'm talking Comic Core Chad. Chad, what's going on tonight, my friend? Add to stream. My button ain't working. How you doing, brother?
You're the only reason I'm doing this shit.
We're two peas in the same pod, and Kat Wren is eating the peas. Oh my God! All right, sorry.
I'm
That's
chopped
good.
liver.
I like that.
I was just throwing some random rhymes.
What's going on, Ledge?
Man, I'm doing good. I'm excited. We have a great topic tonight. Of course, we're going to be getting started with what we've been doing in our pop culture week. What we've been reading, what have we been watching, what have we been enjoying. That's all about pop culture. But first, we got a question for Mark.
What the is Mark eating?
What are you eating tonight, Mark?
I was eating an ice cream sandwich.
Did you want another ice cream
man.
sandwich to eat
Just
it on
one
camera?
ice cream sandwich? You're going to have to go.
No. You're missing out here. There's several wrappers.
All right, keep eating. Mark needs to keep eating. Before we get to what we've been talking about and what we've been looking up this week, we're going to be checking the live chat because the live chat is where it's at. And we got some people on the live chat right now. We got Chris Barrett in the chat. Man, Chris Barrett, we all know about Barrett 316, the Cosmic King. He's coming out here lean, mean. He's a badass MFing machine. And he's talking about Brother Love and the $1 Million Benefactor. Man, that Chris Barrett, one of the connoisseurs of all professional wrestling history and one of the best we know in the comic book community. And he's our number one mod and one of our number one guys over there in our Discord group. So, man, Chris Barrett, it is great to see you tonight. And a good friend of mine who always has some kick-ass books. I'm talking Stacy's Fat Stacks. And, man, Stacy's Fat Stacks, I hope you've been getting some awesome fat stacks because a lot of great stuff has been coming out. And, man, there ain't no doubt about it. We also have Comic Noob is in the chat. Comic Noob, what is going on? It is great to see you tonight. And, man, we're going to be going ahead and getting started. Kat Wren, I want to go to you. What have you been doing in your pop culture world this week? Have you been reading some cool stuff this week?
I have been, actually. So, first off, before I get into some of the comics, I got my first ever Blackwell's shipment in that I did a live stream of the other day with Mark. Mm-hmm. And this is one of the bottles that we got.
Some of that Walking Dead Spirits Apocalypse.
It actually mixes pretty well with Coke. So I'm doing shots of that with Coke. So
nice.
Pretty good drink tonight. But so I've got two books that I really want to show off and talk about tonight. Mm-hmm. First off, back issues pick. This is something that I've been wanting for a couple years now. And I just haven't pulled the trigger on it, haven't gotten it because it's price just kind of fluctuates.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually ended up getting this for a steal the other day, and that's Sea Bear. It's Grizzly Shark and Sea Bear. They got mixed up, and it's the second print variant for it.
Oh, wow.
So I do actually have the complete run of the Grizzly Shark series, including the Grizzly Shark versus Sea Bear one-shot. But, my dear, because it's 3 comics, but I did not have the second print variant that I love so much. And
you got that second print variant now. That is so cool. You know, the comic book G-Spot, he is a big fan when the collectors get books they really want and get stuff in their hands. So that's so cool. You got one of the ones you've been looking for.
Very happy to add that to my collection. But a book that just came out this week that I've been super excited to read. I do actually have a couple of these on pre-order from Midtown, a couple different covers, but I sent Mark to the shop to pick this up this week because I was stuck working. And that is Deceased Dead Planet. This just came out. This, my dear, is my pick of the week.
Oh, nice.
That's over the variant that I love so much.
Mm-hmm. And it's got Constantine and Swamp Thing on the cover. You can't go wrong with John Constantine.
Oh, yeah.
Drew loves it.
If anyone remembers Deceased, I mean, there's like 3 different storylines for Deceased that are all in the same like universe of Deceased. But basically, it's the comic that made us all super depressed because it started out, everyone was in it, and then the anti-life virus equation came into being. And it infected everyone, basically, and turned them all into these, like, crazed zombies that were going after people and attacking them. And, yeah, a lot of people died. A lot of characters that you know and love died. Horrible, gruesome deaths.
Sometimes
and
that's the only way to
still
go.
Dying horrible, gruesome deaths.
Mm-hmm.
And in this issue, we're kind of reeling from that because it's been 5 years after our heroes have, well, the survivors or whatever have left and gone to a different Earth.
Mm-hmm.
But
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Mark, we got to make sure Mark gets some love.
we catch up with John Constantine, and Zatanna is there with him, and she's telling him that it's pretty depressing that he's drinking alone at the bar. And he lets her know that he's not alone because he's with the ghosts of the past. So we go through all of the characters who died fighting alongside him, trying to help save the day and Deceased. So Big Barda's ghost is there, Mr. Miracle's there, which I cried when those two died.
And they died in the original Deceased series?
Together, yes.
And was this a Tom Taylor storyline? Okay. And
Deceased is Tom Taylor's baby.
Nice. Okay. I still need to read it. I got the hardcover by my bed of the first volume. I'm not ready
you
yet.
need to read it.
No, you can spoil away. Spoil away.
Your boys are in it. Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
Oh yeah,
are two of those ghosts.
Blue and Gold. That's one of Carson's favorite. And you know what Carson would most likely say if he was on here today? That Blue and Gold, whether new or old, that's always his.
It's time for Picks of the Week.
Sorry, I forgot to play that earlier. Anywho, so Cyborg is ultimately sending out a distress signal, trying to get someone to come back to Earth, and we don't know why. So we rejoin our heroes, or what is left of them. John is now the new Superman. Damian is now the new Batman.
That's cool.
Wonder Girl is now Wonder Woman. And, of course, Black Canary is now Green Lantern. It's crazy, but it's fantastic. I never knew that I needed Black Canary to be a Green Lantern until Deceased, but it's perfection. I love her as a Green Lantern.
That ad
so
real
much.
quick. I saw that a minute ago. That's fucking awesome.
It is. Wear a
Maintain
mask.
social
Stay
distance.
6 feet apart, guys.
Gotta love any kind of Eel O'Brien love is good love in my book.
But they're kind of dealing with things once they get the distress call. And they take it to a vote as to whether or not they're actually going to go out and see if there's anything that can be done on Earth, or if what needs to happen. And I'll tell you, there's this great moment between Green Arrow and Black Canary. We've had this same moment so many times where those two have talked about whether or not they need to go in some kind of dangerous situation. It's happened in so many of these different runs where it's like they're finally happy, they finally found their peace together, but they're being called back into the fight in like a really dangerous situation. And ultimately, they know they're not going to split up, so they're both going in it together. And I'm not going to spoil the issue, but
you are.
That's not necessarily a great idea in that.
Just spoil.
Let's just say Green Arrow.
Gone too soon,
my dear. But I will tell you, we did get a fantastic character who survived. We didn't know that he survived until this panel. That's right.
Oh, there he is.
The best and I want to say like the goodest of the good boys, because he is a good boy, and that is Crypto. Crypto is alive, and he's once again reunited with his boy John. And it's fantastic, honestly. There's a really messed up moment in it where you see that Superman's still in the sun. He's still burning in the sun.
Yep. Damn.
But ultimately, we find out that our heroes may have acted a bit rash in their decision with what happened during Deceased, where they thought, they're all zombies. We have to kill them all before they kill us all. Yeah. They were wrong. According to Cyborg, there's a cure.
Oh, dang.
So I'm just gonna run down a couple characters who died horribly in Deceased. We're gonna go with Batman. We're gonna go with Tim. Tim Drake's Red Robin. We're gonna go with Nightwing. Babs, Batgirl, died horribly. Both Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy died horribly. We also had Deathstroke losing his mind. We had John Jones. We had Mr. Miracle and Big Barda. We had Fire and Ice dying. So many various characters. We basically lost almost everyone, including the Green Lantern Corps at this point.
Damn. A lot of death in that one, then.
It's that comic, if you want to find something to cry about, definitely read Deceased.
And is that comic, is it a one shot, or are they going to do more issues of it?
They're going to do more issues of it.
Okay. Deceased Dead Planet, the 5-year in the future sequel to the original Tom Taylor Deceased. People, check it out today. While I give some, what do we got? What else you got about Deceased? Oh, yeah.
Hardcover right now. I would highly suggest you go out and get the original hardcover or even the trade paperback and read that, because it's fantastic.
Y'all heard it here, fans. You got to read the Deceased. We're going to get back to the chat real quick before I move to Chad's picks of the weeks. We got Simple Man's Comics. If y'all don't know Simple Man's Comics, great freaking channel. Brian over there, he's giving you his honest opinions on what he thinks are books that might have a little bit of a future. So make sure you check that guy out, and him, his buddy Jack, aka Mr. Bolo. They have a great list of books that you may not know about that may change your mind on many different things. Great reads, great characters, great first appearances, variant buzz, all of that great stuff over there at Simple Man's Comics. And congratulations, Simple Man Comics also has a variant coming out that has his logo on it. So that's pretty freaking cool. That's all the rage now. A lot of YouTubers are getting their logos on comic books, man. So that clout, you got to get that clout before you run out. Yeah. All right, man. And we got Chris Barrett.
Hey, actually, if you get a chance to go check out Simple Man, they have exclusive variant. I'll put the link in the chat. It's a new store that him and Jack have opened. It's on a website, and they're going to have some really cool variants coming up in the future, and some really good stuff. Man. So, good job to those guys, and kudos to and look who's in the chat, my friend John's Comics with Kids. I got to talk to him today. He still likes me. He didn't hang up on me.
That's good, man. I be hanging up on chat all the time.
And look hey, legend, look who else is in here.
Oh snap. Okay, I saw a comment. He also made a comment about his favorite character. I'm just kidding. He hates Booster Gold. And Howler Mouse, man. You know I love Howler Mouse. Congratulations, Howler Mouse. Howler Mouse, big time event in his life. Tied the knot. So congratulations, brother, man. You deserve all you got, man. That's what I'm talking about. And, man, one of my personal faves, Gore Vidal, man. Gore Vidal and Howler Mouse together, that's a combo like no other, man. So tell your sister, tell your brother, check out those 2 channels and make sure you put those men on your panels. Yeah! Boy, the rhymes are flowing, Chad. What about you, my friend? What have you been reading lately in the world of comics? And tell us a little bit about what's going on in your pop culture life.
So my 2 picks of the week were Batman the animated.
Yep, still waiting on that.
And Young Justice. It's gotten really, really good. So I'm really digging these 2 books. If you want to see a lot of some really other good reviews, check out Drew Manchu's reviews on the Comic Core every week. We miss Drew tonight. We also miss our buddy C. Woodard. But from a pop culture standpoint, what have I been doing? Well, I've been spending a lot of time with Simple Man and Jack, a.k.a. Mr. Bolo, and working on a project that should be coming out. I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, head over to Mainframe Comic-Con and see what they got in store for you. Check them out on Instagram too. Drew is going to be helping out Chuck with some advertising here starting, I think, this week. But this coming Monday, some really big names are going to be announced. I mean, there's some names already announced, but there's some really cool things that they're doing over there. Those guys are kicking butt.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Man, no doubt about it. I want to give a big shout out to this guy. One of my favorites just showed up in the chat, and I'm talking about Comic Man Andy, one of the best. You can catch him on Modern Man and Modern Man Mondays, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. Also, you can catch him on Andy Given Thursday, hottest show on Thursday night, 9 Central, 10 Eastern. And sometimes he's even on Whacked Out Wednesday with John's Comics with Kids, Whitewell Comics, my main man, Comic Smiths Explain, and Adam Big Bear Island Comics, man. And another big shout out to this old guy. I've known him about 10 years on YouTube. We got Mr. Gretzky9966. Our good buddy Matt is here. And yes, my good friend from Discord, the legend shaved the old beard tonight, man. You know, it'll grow back in a couple of days, so no doubt about it. So it's great to see Ricky, the freaking creator of our Discord group over there, and taught me how to freaking do a lot of Discord along with my main man, Chris Barrett. And Chris Barrett is so excited. I think this is going to be our 3rd iteration of Mainframe Comic-Con. So it seems like, Chad, we've been doing Mainframe usually about every 2-3 months or so. I mean, we got some good stuff going on over there.
This one's a little bit different. So the first 2 were our trials, and trust me, there was a lot of tribulation in those first 2. But this one, we all are part of it, and it is going to be epic. There's been a lot of hard work put in it already. I can tell you this much. The announcements next week for the guest, we are done getting guests. Like, officially done getting guests, and it's still 40 days away. So it's going to be pretty cool. There's some, I mean, shit, I can drop one name, Kevin Eastman.
Yeah, man. You know, when you talk about Kevin Eastman, Chad, you talk about this guy right here. And when we talk about this guy right here, there ain't no one as fine as the Seawood 19. And, you know, when you talk about Seawood's comic books, you better, he's like a one-man band because he always loves his newsstand.
Dude, stand.
C119, everybody. Give it up. Man, we ought to have one of those applause gimmicks in there, too.
You know,
Man,
the best part about that, man, dude, like,
Yeah.
honestly, he texted us earlier in the week, and he's like, because he's been working, and I mean, the dude is putting in some hours, and he said, did everybody see, like, I messed around in StreamYards and put some gimmicks for you guys in there, and I was like, that's awesome. And when I wanted to jump on, and today when I jumped on, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome.
God, man, those young whippersnappers, Chad, like Carson, man, they know all the cool techniques in the computer. Oh, man. Big shout out to our good friend, the one, the only, Jack DeMaio, a.k.a.
Bolo.
Bolo is in the house, man. It's great to see Mr. Bolo. Of course, you can catch him all the time over there on Simple Man's Comics because he's one half of that tandem over there. He's like the mega powers, you know what I'm saying? So it's great to see him. What's been happening in my pop culture world? Well, I have not read much lately, but I did read a while back Strange Tales, issue 105. Classic Human Torch. I'm not going to bring it up. I do got my iPad. The iPad's always close because I love reading the old school stuff digitally. But I was reading about the Human Torch, and he's getting some tango action with the Wizard. It's the Wizard's second battle, 1v1 with that Johnny Storm. And, of course, Johnny Storm always has an ace up his sleeve because Sue Storm is never too far behind. And the story starts out with my main man, Wizard. Wizard is in jail, upset that Johnny put him there from the last debacle that he had. And the Wizard is on good terms, great behavior. He's got him a job in the prison hospital. So while he's in the prison hospital, he's making some little potions and doing this or that. And then he's able to make a wall just disappear and melt with some kind of acid. So he fakes his escape. He gets out. The cops go one way, he goes the other way, and then he goes back to his own fortress. And, of course, Johnny Storm, with the help of Sue Storm, put him right back in jail, man. Wizard, wanted to 1v1 Johnny Storm because he felt Johnny, put him in jail and made a fool of himself. And Johnny and Sue together made a fool of the Wizard again. So that's Strange Tales 105. Some Silver Age goodness. I didn't read the backup story. I only read the Johnny Storm because that's all I need to read is Johnny Storm and Sue Storm whipping the Wizard's butt. Another thing I've been doing in the pop culture scene, been addicted lately to my video games. I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves on the weekends, and during the weeknights when I get home from work, I've been playing some Arthur Morgan Red Dead Redemption 2. And I've even played a little. We got to get some of that because we got our camp going. We've been doing some hauls. We've been hunting animal parts and delivering them and making goods and all kinds of great stuff with Cripps and our good buddy at the camp who, once we bring him the animal parts, he breaks those parts down into goods that can be sold. So we drive the wagon to where we need to deliver the goods. We can either deliver locally and avoid a lot of the other online players because you know how those players like to grief each other. And speaking of griefing, I won't go too far in my Red Dead Redemption. What do we call these, Drew? We call them filibusters, man. What's going down, Drew Manchu, baby?
It has been one long day, fellas. And
2 hours of sleep, Drew. Tell us, man. You only had 2 hours.
No, I only had 2 concurrent hours of sleep. I fell asleep at like 1 a.m. and slept till like 2:40, and then woke up for like another couple hours, and then we got like another hour of sleep. And then I worked all day. So, oh man, that was a lot of fun.
Are you going to be able to ride the range with us tonight?
Maybe for a little while. Maybe
we'll let you rest
for a little while.
You can stay at the camp and just drink all the beers you want, dude.
Why is my camera so out of focus all the time?
We'll take you on. We'll put you on the 4 corners.
Hey, I look less bad that way.
Hey, Drew, we've been going over some of the things we've been doing in our pop culture worlds, talking about our favorite reads, maybe something you saw. I'll tell you real quick, one thing I forgot to let y'all know. Me and my 11-year-old, he'd never seen the original Ivan Reitman, Ghostbusters. Man,
Oh, wow.
you got to love it. Yeah, you'd never seen it before. And I have it I got Ghostbusters 1 and 2 on Blu-ray. So hopefully this weekend we'll watch part 2 and see the pink ooze under the streets. But Drew, how about you? Drew, have you been reading some good stuff this week?
Yeah, man, we got pretty much a full slate of books this week, which is really cool. I was making a review video for the entire channel when I had a catastrophic software issue that developed. So that didn't end up coming out. But man, I got a couple books to show real quick.
Hell yeah, man.
I didn't even get a chance to bag and board these this week yet. Fantastic Four Empire #0.
I'm glad you showed that. I had to order mine. I totally forgot about that one.
I tell you what, Legend, it's a lot of fun.
Did you get the In-Hyuk Lee? Did you get the In-Hyuk Lee variant?
The In-Hyuk Lee variant is for issue #1, not the 0 issue. That comes out next week.
Damn.
Yeah, but this is the RB Silva art in this is like really good.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. And this is a great story about them getting they're like stranded in space, and they got to go to a space casino to figure things out. And they end up, at the end of it, saving the day and coming across a young Kree and a young Skrull who are like enslaved to the casino's master and forced to fight and keep the Kree Skrull world war going in order to support the economy, because with the Kree Skrull war over, the intergalactic economy of the Marvel universe has started to collapse.
Wow,
it's a constant, and there's some cool stuff in here, I guess, setting up Empire. But more than anything, it's a really cool Fantastic Four adventure with the full team and the kids, and I really enjoyed it.
Will they get an issue 1 next week on that one?
Issue 1. The 0 issues, they did a Avengers 0 issue, they did a Fantastic Four 0 issue, and then they're going into the series proper. And there's a bunch of other books. Let me see if I can pull up the list they got here.
While you're doing that, who wrote the Empire?
Yeah.
It's being written as a team between Al Ewing and Dan Slott. And,
wow.
Dan Slott wrote this Fantastic Four 0, and Ewing wrote the Avengers.
And if you put both A covers together, they kind of connect together, don't they?
Yeah, and I think they've actually cut this back a little bit. Some of these didn't make the cut after the COVID. But I mean, that's the checklist of everything in the event. So
this is going to be one big ass event. I'm going to try to just lock and load on the FF.
Who were the writers?
One big cover.
Dan Slott and Al Ewing.
What's Al Ewing do?
He does Immortal Hulk, and he does Mainframe Comic-Con.
Oh man, you know what? That was because you told me on the damn phone. I said this. Chad says we're going to have Al Ewing. I was like, who the hell's Al Ewing? Because I don't read no Immortal Hulk. You know what I'm saying? And then when Chad says it's the Immortal Hulk, I said, oh, I heard that was good.
Yeah. Oblivion Song #25 came out. Yeah, it's kind of
who writes that?
A 3-year kind of a 3-year time jump from the last issue. And starts a new arc, which is really fun. If you like Oblivion Song, you're going to keep on liking this. And it looks like it's super duper oversized. And that's just an issue of Science Dog on the other side. To really cares about Science Dog, but Science Dog. 2 great things came out from DC, in my opinion, this week. And one of them was Batman: The Adventures Continues B cover.
There you go, Chad, right there. Chad.
I've got that on order.
I've got that on order too.
Who's that artist?
Gorgeous.
Dustin Nguyen.
Oh, who? Joking.
It's gorgeous.
Dustin Nguyen.
Yeah, yes. And I also read Tom Taylor's Deceased Dead Planet.
Got that Virgin cover with your boy. You had to get your boy Sting on the. I mean,
yeah, Constantine's on the cover of this book, and he's on a couple of pages inside, and it's he's on like 2 pages, and it's still good.
Okay,
It's
damn.
sad.
It is sad, but it's also
so
really happy.
sad.
It's like
Drew's
they go
glad
back-
they're killing DC people off.
Well, you know what? I'm glad they're killing a lot of characters off, but one of the
So your
cool
boy
things-
John and Damien get some love.
So they go back to Earth to save Cyborg because Cyborg's a loser. And
You know what? He's
they
a
kill him.
severed cybernetic head now. I feel for the guy.
Right? So like the Green Lanterns are now like keeping watch over Earth and its sun, and they get there and John's like, the sun? He's like, yeah, well, your dad's still eating it, kid. And
Yep.
Superman's still inside of the sun.
Yep.
And they're like, incoming here, something's coming from Earth, what is it? And they're all like all on guard, and it's like, bam, it's Crypto.
It's
Crypto.
Boy.
It's Crypto. That was really cool. I dug that. The end of this book is like kind of like head scratcher but sad at the same time. I really enjoyed the fight scene between like zombified Wonder Woman and the Green Lantern Black Canary. I thought that was really well handled. And I'm a big fan of like the front end of this book is all about an Earth 2 adventure with like our new Justice League, and you get to see Damian as Batman and John as Superman in like the Super Sons of the Future kind of book that we always wanted.
You always wanted that, Drew. I'm
I
glad
really
you
dig
got
it.
that one, man.
Just the banter between them. Tom Taylor handles it really well, and I thought it was really great.
That's freaking awesome, dude. Well, Chad, man, what do you think about this chat tonight? We got aggressively relaxing, man. He says Slott is the GOAT. And let me tell you, Dan Slott made Fantastic Four great again, dude. I freaking love it. You know, Chad and Drew, when they were in Baltimore 2 years prior, they got me the hookup of all hookups. A Dan Slott signed, specialized sign to the great legend from Dan Slott on his Fantastic Four #1. And, man, that thing looks freaking gem mint. And, man, we also got Carlito Classico. Orale, mi amigo. Man, it's great to see Carlito Classico, one of the best here in the comic book community. He's been with us a real long time. And a big shout-out to Magic Lasso. She said, Magic Lasso, he/she, I don't remember what you are down with, but it's all right, man. We can all be friends. But anyway, man, good to see Magic Lasso up in the house. Give you some shout outs like you deserve, my good friend, Magic Lasso. And hopefully about that Wonder Woman lasso.
Hey, Ledge, before we get to the topic, can I just go through a couple things real quick for everybody?
Yeah, man, give us the lowdown.
Since Drew's here,
I'm here.
Drew is here, so Drew is heading up some advertising for Mainframe Comic Con, and
We're gonna try.
We got a budget today, so
That's exciting. That's all I bitched about during that meeting.
yeah, it was So I'm not going to go into that here, but so I will give you guys some guests. We've got Al Ewing, Donnie Cates, Jock, Kevin Eastman, Steve Orlando, Matt Hawkins, Stephanie Phillips, John Boy Meyer.
Slow down your voice a little bit. And the pictures are going like too slow. It's like Nick Patrick doing the fast count.
Cat, you do it.
All right, so Cat, when he shows you the picture, you read the name. John Boy Myers.
Drew.
John Boy Myers is a fantastic artist.
And then we also have
our friend Rylan Grant.
Rylan Grant. Sophie Campbell. David Boer.
David M. Boer. Christopher
Cantwell. Chris is the current writer on and an Eisner nominee for Doom, and he'll be also taking over Iron Man here very shortly.
Do yourselves a favor if you Google Christopher Cantwell, put writer at the end of it.
And check him out. He also did the hit TV series Halt and Catch Fire. And he was
He's going to be the showrunner for the new Paper
Paper
Girls TV show.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
cool.
BKV's Paper Girls. So respect those Paper Girl.
We've got Frank Gogol joining us. We also have Paulie. Oh man,
Paolo
Paolo Riviera.
How do you say that?
Ariel
Olivetti.
Olivetti.
And then there's more coming on that side. And then
More
also,
guest announcements.
here's a cool. This one's pretty cool. This announcement.
Hey guys, make sure you go to the website, sign up for the newsletter.
Yeah.
That's going to be the most direct way that you can get your hands on information about Mainframe Comic-Con. We're going to be doing social media blasts across all of our platforms, across all of the platforms that we have our little tiny hooks into. But the easiest way for you to get direct information, if you are interested, is to sign up for the mailing list.
So then Mainframe Comic-Con also partnered with Previews World and
Our good friend Troy over at Previews World.
Diamond Comics, and then another small channel is working with them as well, and that's Simple Man. So,
I know that guy. I know those
They're
dudes.
good peoples. They're
So-
good peoples.
there is some really good things on the horizon. Also, Tom Braveroot is going to be joining.
Yep.
Freeboard.
Okay, and Cal Higgins is.
Yes.
And then there's 3 names that are going to be announced on Monday that you guys might want to stay tuned for.
I'm super hyped for the announcement of Kyle Higgins. We know we just solidified that today. We don't have a thumbnail or a headshot yet mocked up for Kyle. But man, the writer of one of the greatest events in comics history, in my mind, Power Rangers Shattered Grid. If you haven't read Shattered Grid, it's Crisis on Infinite Rangers. It's the Infinity Ranger Gauntlets. It's the biggest kind of crossover that you can get in shared continuity comics, and happen between Power Rangers and Go-Go Power Rangers. And just like, I'm not a huge Power Rangers guy, but this is the kind of storytelling that really hooks you in.
But it made you into one, though.
It did. Made
So
me
they got like some
Human
Infinity
one now.
Gauntlet vibe and some Infinite Earth's
Yeah.
Crisis type vibe
It's
to it.
basically the story of an evil Tommy from the future, from an alternate future,
Ooh.
Lord Dragon.
stealing all of the
Tommy.
morphing coins from every Power Ranger in every reality in order to take over all of reality, and it's pretty badass.
There's two things I know I can talk about because they got solidified today. Dan Fogler is going to be joining us again, best known from Fantastic Beast. But Dan was also in The Walking Dead, and he's going to be doing a Walking Dead reunion with a ton of people. And then, Legend, do you know who this guy is?
Dude, man, big time shout out on this guy, dude. Freaking Robert Wool.
That's Big Chef. Oh wait, no, that's Robert Wool.
That's the dude from the original Batman movie, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he played on that HBO show where he was a sports dude or something.
Yeah.
Arliss.
And he's classic. I just haven't seen him in but like if you were around in the 90s or watched movies in the late 80s, you knew who that guy was, man. No doubt about it. You got some great other guest announcements coming. You got our sponsors at the Comic-Con, Mainframe Comic-Con. It's going to be a damn good time. Big shout out to DJ Tony Snark. We got Gomer in here. Gomer's always a good one, man. One of Drew's finest buds.
What's going on, Gomer?
And dude, they got some love in the chat for some DJ Tony Snark tonight, man. You know, let me go. We got a great. Oh, wait. There's a little quick deal I got to do. You know, we got to figure out what the topic is tonight. So let's see. Roundtable topic of the week.
It's time for the Roundtable topic of the week. Gotta hope someone picked a topic.
I love Carson so much.
Those freaking gimmicks are awesome.
Oh man.
Our topic for tonight, fans, is your passion, their reaction. You know, how many times have you had your friends come over, or your mom or dad's coming over to your house, or, you know, they go into your room and all they see is comic memorabilia, action figures, just games, movies, everything's just in disarray. And what kind of reaction do you get from those folks? Is it a positive reaction? Is it a negative reaction? Do they walk in there and be like, what the hell happened? What you got in here? And then you could either say, well, I read all these, or you could say, they're all worth money. How did that go? And also, we're going to be kind of talking about some of those negative reactions, some of those negative stories that we may have had in our lives when we are comic book collectors. Like, are we, seen in a negative light, or did people make fun of you or whatnot, or did they respect your collecting? Did they respect your hobby? So we're going to be kind of talking about that tonight. And one cool thing is Mark BKR, the superstar himself, has a little bit of a story to tell. And, when we talk about these things like comics and collectibles, they could be foods, or like eating bugs, or living in like dog cages in the backyard, like all the weird crap that Mark does off camera. I mean, he's going to talk about that tonight, and how people perceive him in those real world situations. Mark BKR, man, put the thing in your head. Mark,
listen,
we're talking tonight about, your passion, their reaction. And when we talk about that, it doesn't have to be all comics. Mark, tell us a little bit about things that you're passionate about, and tell us some things about how people react to your passions.
Mm-hmm.
Like my passions for...
Well, Drew was telling us a little hint about a pizza story or something. Right?
I heard that when you were a kid, you and your group of ruffians who just like really, really shitty pizza toppings, like make fun of the Pokemon kids because they were like, Charizard! And you'd be like, I like hamster droppings on my pizza, and then you beat them up.
No, that's not.
You never did that?
Man, you are so awkward.
I believe it.
I made that up, but I feel like that's.
Oh, dude, I thought that was a real story.
No. Mark.
What?
Tell them what you said to me when I started watching the newest Pokemon animated series. It's on Netflix. It just
Oh,
dropped.
wow, Kat, this is great. This is something other than
I don't
short.
know. What did I say to you?
Hey, man, that's Chad's that's a mean
He
reaction.
looked at me and said,
Sharks
"What are you, 5?"
Sharks
I was
are
like, "I don't know. Let me go get my Switch so we can play the game."
Pretty much. Okay, so what makes me passionate?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you can't do a church answer and say cat makes you passionate, because we all know that, but you can't choose her. You got to choose something else you're into.
Talk about your cameras.
I mean,
Yeah, your camera. You take great photos. You have an Instagram with some awesome, beautiful photos.
It's been a while since I've been on there, but yeah, they have some pretty awesome pictures on there.
And do you get a lot of likes on those? Do people see those and do they enjoy them, or do they like shit on them or something? Oh my goodness!
Not that copyright strike
one. Well, for the longest time for Instagram, now don't hate me for this, I thought that hashtags were just a gimmick.
Mhm.
So I just took pictures and put them on Instagram. No hashtags.
Oh.
Because I did not understand that's how it works.
Mm-hmm.
And then he started following people on Snapchat.
Yeah.
No, TikTok. Sorry.
Same
No, that's
difference.
you, Chad.
Yep, that's you, Chad.
I have one follower. I have
And
one
it's
follower,
Mark.
and it's Mark.
You're welcome. Too bad.
Mark,
I
Chad, he had-
Chinese spywares. That's all.
You're
it
not
is.
blocked yet, Chad. He hasn't blocked you yet. Well, Mark, man, that's freaking cool. Have you ever shown any of your kick-ass photos to your mom or that sister of yours? Have they ever
Which
checked them out?
Like, which
He's
sister?
got 3.
that bitch one?
He's got 3.
That bitch
I love my
mean
sister.
one. The
I
real
love my
mean
sister
one.
to death, but you have to be a little more specific.
Oh wow!
Well, Mark, I mean, I've seen your pics, and I love the stuff you put on there because it's something you're passionate about, and I can tell you put your heart and soul into it. Because there was sometimes where you take pictures of close-up flowers with like insects on them and stuff like that. I thought that was really I thought it was pro style because I don't know anything about those professional
That was just my
cameras.
cell phone.
You did your cell phone on those?
But most of my pictures on there are from cell phone.
I thought
I
you'd
do
have that
like
Andre
naked
Agassi Rebel.
Mark,
Canon
how do you
camera.
feel about Legend's current reaction to your passion?
Dude, I'm excited.
I feel
I'm
awesome about it.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's the fucking man. One thing I love about Mark, and if y'all don't know, you need to check out Catrin Figures channel, because when he does Mark BKR behind the bar, he makes some awesome mixed drinks that many of you may have never seen before.
No, but okay, there's a lot of practice goes into it to make sure it doesn't taste really bad.
Well, I know that's the fun part, or it could be also a nightmare if you really make a gross concoction. Hey, real quick, I got to go to the chat real quick.
I made a really gross one tonight. I can top that. It is.
Right. We're going to go to the chat real quick. I got to give a big shout out. William Bird says, my in-laws shake their head in disgust when they see all of his comic stuff. And William, man, I think like sometimes, say your mom and dad, they're used to it because you've been doing it a long time. But yeah, when the in-laws come in and they see all of these boxes and all these comics, and then all they think about is the financial side, the money that you're taking away from your family and putting into your collection. And then, but they don't understand that that's something you're passionate about. But the cool thing is, you know, you don't have to worry about what they think, because you know you got them awesome books that have those great looks. I want to go to we got Sheila Thompson saying hello. Great to see Sheila in the chat. Sheila, tell your boy Sam Thompson, Sam's Tangle Web, don't step up to these LEGENDs, because we're live tonight, and he's live on his little channel. But where the big boys play, you don't go live against the core, because sometimes there'll be no more. But I got to be
in the sand for Sam's Tangle Web, apparently.
Yeah, I'm throwing down that Sam's Tangle Web. Somebody's going to get stuck in a web until the man is dead. All right, no, anyway.
Sam, I got nothing but love for you, man. You go live whenever you want.
That's right. Burn it,
brother.
Burn it down. Just burn it down, and don't be a clown. But we got Bob World. Bob World, they're opening up Disney World tomorrow. And I don't know how that's going to go. I think that's going to be some gone too soon. But Bob World, great to see you. I talked to Bob tonight. We kind of traded some war stories tonight about computers, and I was telling him about I had this Domino's pizza freak that was trying to mess with me, so I had to settle that guy down. But hey, yeah, not the Noid, but some punk behind the counter. I was messed up. But hey, Cat Wren, tell us a little bit about some of your stories that you've dealt with, where people look at you the wrong way for being an awesome collector, and especially an action figure collector too.
All right, so
how much you're eating it?
Mark, I'm talking.
What?
Shush.
It's a beetle.
Just stay off camera and shush. You're fine.
Chocolate.
Mark, do I need to mute you in real life?
Yes.
AKA get the duct tape.
Yes.
We go put his ass in Sam's Tangle Web.
Anywho, he's gonna go in his box here in a minute. But anywho. So my collection and my whole nerddom and how people have reacted to it. So not gonna lie, a lot of mixed things. I've talked about it a bit with people kind of joking around when I'll go to like smaller shops or something about how like, oh, there's a girl reading comics, da da da. Mm-hmm. But even farther back than that, people in my real world, you know, friends, family, roommate situations, which I have a story about my psycho roommate from college, but
we're definitely going to need to hear that one here in a little bit.
People reacting to it. One of the big things I get whenever people see like my collection, like, oh, so you just let your husband put whatever on your walls. Like when they see this, when they come into my house, I'm like, oh, no. I was like, those are mine. And they're like, no, seriously. They're like, no, those are mine. I was like, oh. I had one person say, oh, but you look normal.
Oh,
I don't know what that's supposed to mean. So,
dude, what the hell?
What's a nerd supposed to look like? I get that a lot where people are like, oh, well, you just don't look the type. I'm like, what am I supposed to look like to read comics or like type? Playing with video games or collecting figures or whatever? What am I supposed to look like, honestly? And I get that a lot. That's a big thing. Another thing is people not accepting certain art styles. I know the first time my mother-in-law saw the Death of the Family Jokers, I know a lot of people get offended by this for some reason. This like whole collection. I've got the 9 Joker mask covers.
Those die cut covers are
I
so
love
sweet.
them. I love them so much. It's one of my favorite runs and one of my favorite like spreads throughout my comic history. But a lot of people get offended by this, my mother-in-law included.
I get offended by Mark's mouth most of the time. And that's why Carlito says we can get you some duct tape.
Let that be known that she did not like that. And I said, that's fine. It's not in your house. You don't have to look at it every day. But I am talking about your mama.
Carlito's got the duct tape. Just let us know, Kat. We duct tape him and put him in his box.
Mark, I'm in the middle of something. Please put your phone down. Why are you on my phone?
I'm going to call my mom with your phone so you can talk to her.
Leave your mom alone.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Put your damn phone down. Anywho. So, just continuing on, people, when they see like my my shelves, you've seen my background and everything, like, oh, so you just let your husband like take over this entire thing? I'm like, no, it's mine. These are all mine. I have so many people who constantly think that it's all Mark's collection. It's like, Mark doesn't know who half these guys are, but okay. But I've definitely had people that are kind of like, yeah. And then I've had people who have outright said it's ridiculous or it's stupid or it's a waste of time, it's a waste of money. Let me get into my psycho roommate. So I had a roommate in college. Her name was Carla. I'm not friends with her anymore. So
sounds like one of those Karens.
She pretty much is a Karen. She pretty much is. But I have no problem with saying her name. I'm not going to say her last name. But, so, you know.
You do not speak of
friends.
Carla.
Is Carla's last name Toe Classic? Because
no.
Carla might be in the chat right now.
No, it's not.
Carla Toe Classic.
No. But she got upset because she said something about me wasting my time or that it was a waste of space or something. But she smashed a Starfire statue that I had.
That is so
and this
screwed.
is, mind you, this is when I was a broke college student that was working part-time running for a law office for like $7.50 an hour on top of going to classes and everything. And I had like saved up for this. I thought this was like the greatest thing known to mankind when I bought this statue, mind you. And she smashed it. And she tore up a bunch of Harley comics that I had in the room and said they were a waste of time and they were distracting me from what was important. I tried to throw her out of the window. Mind you, we lived on the 8th floor at the time. So, yeah.
That's messed up. I mean, it's messed up that that person did that to you. And it's also interesting, and it's normal to hear that. I hear that story all the time from other girls I've met in the comic book community and in real life situations that do collections and collect stuff, that someone will come into the house and then they'll automatically say, hey, your husband collects all this. And no, it's this gal that collects everything. The husband not even into that stuff, you know? So that's one of those stories I hear quite a bit. And it's one of those things, it's just a sad thing. It's because it's so stereotyped for all these years that only guys like comics, but no, girls have been reading comics since the golden age themselves. I mean, practically all of the stuff. They love the true crime. They love the horror. They love the action superheroes. They love the damn everything, ECs, whatever. The women loved it. And back in the day, they had a lot of great, and they still do, of course, women writers, women illustrators, and they're kicking as much ass, if not more ass, than what the men are doing. So I'm glad that you're still just kicking ass and being a great collector and not letting anyone phase you in the decisions you make when it comes to your collection.
Love what you love, collect what you love, what you like. Because honestly, at the end of the day, if you're just collecting what people tell you to, you're going to end up with a bunch of expensive pieces of paper.
That's right.
As far as these whole things go. I didn't let it phase me. I've since replaced that statue. I've since replaced the comics that were trashed. I mean, they're things that bring me some joy. I have reread several of my books multiple times, and it kind of gives me a little way out of my head.
That's awesome, and I that's what I love about you, because I see the passion every time I watch your videos, whether it be that beautiful smile or that little hand gesture like this, or just whatever kick-ass thing Mark's doing. And one of the things I loved about Kat's videos, some of her early videos, was whenever Mark would hijack the camera and he'd get his own time to unwind and drop some of his own cool ass rhymes, man. So Mark, one of the best. Mark's got a lot of love from this guy, Chris Barrett. Man, he talks more shit than a parrot, but we're glad to hear
so much shit in this chat.
Barrett always gives Mark a bunch of hell, and we got Aggressive Relaxing says he had an electrician walk through his room one time with his collection, and you would have thought he was a cop on a CW show discovering a red screen conspiracy.
Yep.
Dude. Well, I was gonna go to Drew, but it looks like
I'm here. I just let my dog in, so I had to turn my camera off for a second.
Dogs in. Damn, yeah. I want to hear what Drew has to say. Chad, what were you going to say?
First of all,
Drew, Chad, you missed it. You fucked up. He filibustered on you.
I'm not going to filibuster, but I just want to say that we all like Mark.
We all do it, man. We all.
He was a little more scarce. Mark, go away a little bit so we can miss you.
Yeah. Get out of here, Mark.
Oh man, the less Mark, not necessarily the better.
Yeah.
But I will say that I'm one of those lifetime collectors. I did take a break from the comics, but I was still on action figures that entire time. My ex-wife couldn't understand it. I was like, what is all this space you're taking up with all this crap? I'm like, what is all those shoes in the closet you never wear? Okay, people spend money on what they spend money on. My last ex-girlfriend couldn't understand it either. You read comic books all day. I like the stories. You watch us, and you can't wait every week for that new episode to drop. I can't wait every week to figure out what's going on with the X-Men. So these are the kind of things that you get guffed for it, because comics for the longest time were directed at children, and they are certainly not anymore. I mean, these publishers want child readers. They have someone to grow with them, but these are more adult stories, more adult content that have more intricate character work in them than a lot of current television. So people like to yuck your yum is something that I heard recently, and I'm definitely guilty of doing this in a lot of ways. But you're like, what do you like? Well, I like this. Well, let me tell you 8 reasons why it's shit, brother.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter, if you're doing that, within the nerd community. I can't wait for people to tell me how much they love the new Hellblazer Constantine books. I can tell them how stupid they are for it. But it's something that you get from people on the outside too. So you're always going to have people who try to steal a little bit of your joy. Just saying, as long as you can hold on to it, make yourself happy. That's really all that matters.
That's it, man. That's what I'm talking about. How about you, Chad? What's some of the great memories you have of maybe people coming over, your baseball buddies coming over to the house and seeing those comics in your room? And were they into them? Did they want to read them, or were they kind of like, comic books? Yeah.
And did they press the mute button when they got there?
Oh, that's a start button joke. Oh, Chad, man.
Chad.
And the minute
it's technical difficulties. Now, come on, y'all. Y'all know he's having technical difficulties.
How many ice cream sandwiches are y'all eating?
Dude, is he eating an ice cream sandwich too? Oh, he's got that better one. He's got the cookie.
He's got the cookie one. Mark,
Brian B. Blair messed up his Killer B mic. So
how many boxes of ice cream sandwiches have you had in the last 7 days? How many boxes? You're not gonna tell them, are you?
You can tell them.
Are they sandwiches or sandwiches?
2 boxes of 24 piece.
3.
Oh, I got you. Hey, we got 3
We
boxes.
got-
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Is Mike
Can you
working?
hear me?
We
I
can
hear you now.
I hear
I
you.
hear you.
Yeah, we hear you with your mouth full.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
that's good ice cream though, dude. Did you get you got a brain freeze right now? Because you
No.
that's some cold ass stuff.
That was the nicest thing Drew ever said, man. That was so sweet.
He did a damn good. That was a great answer.
I tried to
For the
keep it
topic.
short because I thought your mic would be ready when I was done.
Oh,
I was kind of, that was amazing. I even got
you was about to get teary eyed, weren't you?
Keep going if you want to cry, Jack.
Aw.
You want to have a deep, good emotional cry.
Did you just drop chicken?
No.
people didn't really care about the comic books. Nobody was into it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, nobody said anything. But as soon as the movies came out, they all asked questions.
Agreed.
So
I think we've done that. You know.
I would say probably about like 10 years ago, like geek became chic.
I think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, as far as everything is, nobody's really judged. I'll tell you what, nobody judged outside the community, but like inside the community, goddamn.
Mm.
A lot of haters.
They came, like, I mean, even like that's, I mean, it's not just, it's funny books, man. Like, my buddy and I used to talk about it and say, like, why get pissed off over a bunch of cartoon books?
Yeah.
But I mean, there are some really great stories in there, and that's I love talk. I mean, I find myself telling people origin stories and shit, like, and they'll start asking questions, and you get them a book, and they're like, "Man, this was a really good read." That's somebody that doesn't collect comics.
Yeah.
Like, you give them something that you're passionate about, explain it to them. Hand somebody that's never read,
The Watchmen.
yeah, like The Watchmen. Somebody that hasn't ever read,
Jonah Hex.
Why the Last Man,
Man.
and Paper Girls.
Oh yeah. Carson told me
Death
about
of
Paper
the
Girls.
Family.
It was really good. Drew
Carson told you about Paper Girls? I told you about Paper Girls for like 3 years, bro.
Yeah, but when Carson told me, it was like biblical.
When Carson told me, listen,
Yeah, but he listens to Carson.
But that's the thing. Like, so we've done a lot of these.
me and Carson are divorced parents raising a son together.
You know what? You need to go marry Carson. Let
I
Chad
know.
finish.
It didn't work out.
No, the one thing that I do say is, like, once you so we put these books in such high regards, right? Some of them in such high regards, and Hulk 181 or what
Yeah, those kind.
But when you get to talk to somebody like one of the creators and stuff, and you hear the story behind it, like they're just average guys. They don't hold themselves in any high regard. So,
Yeah.
it's a good, they're good stories that need to be heard. They're the modern day Aesop's tales. So,
That's it.
Question for
I
you.
totally agree.
yeah,
Drew?
buddy.
When you're talking about how when the movies came around, your friends would ask you questions, like
Yeah.
your comic friends, normies I like to call them. The normies would always you'd walk into a conversation about Spider-Man. Do you ever feel that you got too inside baseball and they would just glaze over and stare at you?
Yeah.
It's the kind of feeling that I started to get a lot, like when the MCU starts getting more popular, and like every third person's like, I love Iron Man, and I'm like, yeah, Demon in a Bottle, like, yeah, Armor Wars, and they look at me like,
Yeah, they don't know it.
So, like,
that's what drove me to this community more than anything else, was like being able to talk about these classic stories, these characters in an in-depth way without having all of my friends look at me like, we shouldn't invite him to things anymore. Like, I know more about the Infinity Gauntlet than I ever wanted to. Let's just roll, right?
I remember going to a movie just, I think it was like 2 years ago, and it was with a bunch of guys after work, and we all went to see the premiere. And I was like, oh man, if this happens, you're going to see that. And they're like, can you shut the fuck up? And they're like, and then afterwards, they're asking all kinds of questions. But if you really want to get on, throw somebody for a loop, start talking about like how like if you go see a Spider-Man movie, be like, yeah, Norman Osborn bangs the shit out of Gwen Stacy. They have a kid, and then there's twins, and they try to come back and kill Spider-Man. And they're like, what? Yeah, that shit happens. Really? That's they're like, so that's never gonna happen now. But shit. You can tell them some of the weirdest, like true stories that they'll be like, "That's bullshit." No, man, here it happened.
Mm-hmm. Gore brings up a great point. He's like, most of those non-comic book readers think adults who read comics are in arrested development. They'll watch the films, but it doesn't transfer over to the respect for the comic book medium. And that really holds true. I mean, I've been trying to get my dad to read certain things that I know he would love, but you know, he just doesn't have the time to like read the stories, but he used to back in the day. He'd read that Fawcett Golden Age Captain Marvel, you know, so he remembered the old stuff, but he won't read much of the new. I was going to say back in my day, a lot of my friends collected comics, and you know, we didn't talk too much about it. I mean, but when we were at school, you know, we would talk about what we were going to go pick up, what we were going to go read, and we did that. That was really awesome. But we didn't have a lot of like bullies or like heathens like bashing. And plus at that time, I only had about 2 short boxes. But maybe if I would have had the collection I do today as a young kid, they may have said something, because they would walk in the room and see 35, you know, freaking drawer boxes. And then they might think I have some hoarding issues. Or maybe if they saw something like this in beautiful freaking Mylar, man, they might bash me because it's She-Ra and not He-Man. But the thing about it is, I think the older that we get, and I think the older folks get in society, they find out that, you know, all of us aren't different. It's like Hippies Collectibles. Kat says, you collect what you like, you love what you collect. You're the one that picks out the things that you're interested in. And like Kat says, don't, you know, always listen to the folks that say, hey, well, you do this, you know, you do that, you ought to do this, you ought to do that. You know, listen to your heart, listen to your mind, listen to your soul, and you're going to have a damn good time. Man, I think this was a kick-ass freaking topic tonight, man, because we all have passion. We've all seen friends and family and mortal enemies and college roommates. We've seen their reactions. And, you know, for each reaction, there's always an opposite or whatever, or reaction. I don't know, some of that Isaac Newton shit or whatever. Oh, yeah. But, man, I tell you, this was a damn good time. And we got some more folks in the chat, man. We got Barbarian Kung Fu. Barbarian says, damn, it's Babyface Legend, man. Barbarian, he's got that light, nice long beard. You can catch Barbarian and his main man, oh, hey, yo, himself, over on that channel, man. All of a sudden my mind went blank and I couldn't remember the old Razor Ramon guy, but it's the dude that hangs out with Barbarian Kung Fu. Drew, what's that dude's name? That one guy.
I'm as bad as Chad is with names, so.
Damn, dude, it pisses me off.
I can't remember names.
I forgot.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
I forgot Dr. Von Chilla's best buddy, 96-year-old when he passed, good old Ellis, a World War II vet, one of the best. Mr. Garrel, that's him, Mr. Garrel.
There you go.
Barbarian and Garrel together, always doing their live shows, and they crack me up because I'll watch them. I'll be watching them in bed, but I don't want to chat. You know, I'll just give them the thumbs up. I'll watch them. And Garrel and him, sometimes it'll just be maybe 2 or 3 in their show, and they'll kind of talk back and forth and kind of make fun of the fact that there's not many watching. But the thing about it is, there is people watching. A lot of times folks just are too lazy, like myself, to comment. But I do enjoy watching Garrel and Barbarian Kung Fu, and I promise next time I watch you, I'll give you a little love in the chat. But they got a good show. They were just on this week. But the thing about it is, we all, like I said, we all have different passions, and there's a lot of different live shows. You know, there's reader shows, there's auction shows, there's movie shows, there's just get on and hang out shows, all kind of good stuff. So, man, that was the topic for tonight. Chad, we're going to go around the horn. Chad, I'm going to come to you last. But Kat, Ren, and Mark, what do y'all got planned for your channels coming up?
What do we have planned?
Well, we're currently in pre-production. We're hoping to start some filming for some inflatable sharks
Mm.
coming up.
I'm telling you, this inflatable sharks movie is the Three Jokers of the Comic Corps.
It's It's coming, damn it. We've actually cast someone
Yeah.
in it.
We have.
He's
Or
going to
Apple's
be playing. He's going to be playing a very important role, the magician of the inflatable sharks. Not going to spoil it, but
Awesome.
very excited about that.
Or the amazing
Totally-
Mulder.
He said he's totally game, so why not?
So yeah. Also, hopefully at some point we're gonna get that whole choose your own adventure unicorns at some point.
We got to get the unicorn action. I know Chris Barrett's going to be. He's been asking about this for a while.
Unicorns at some point, even if we just kidnap Legend and like have him tied to a chair or something. Tell us, go this way. No,
Hey, I'm
unicorns
down.
are
I'm
not
down. I'm off Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
we also bought helium.
yeah, we do have helium.
Whoa.
So yeah.
Mark's going to hit that tank.
Oh.
No, but I'm also going to be on Simple Men and Bolos
Over there at Simple Man's Comics.
So not gonna spoil that for them because they got a whole thing planned for that. But look out for that upcoming this week. Yeah, anything else?
Hey, so Drew, I found a video from Baltimore. There's no audio on it. And so there's this guy talking about his booth, talking to you, and he's giving me, actually, you're making about the same exact face that you're giving that guy. So the funny part about it was, the guy's just going on, just talking and talking. But you're just looking down, you're not even looking down at the books. You're just picking them up and just like, and just dropping it. And then like shuffling through again, picking another one up and just dropping it. This is like a nice little 30-second video of just a pan of you two just doing this interaction. I just
Some
cracked.
guy talking at me while I'm trying to hunt for books, probably.
No, you're just like, yeah. You just dropped the book inside the box. I'm like, what the fuck? I'll have to post it. It's just so funny.
Those were some beater copies. So, I mean, those were from New Dimension Comics. 6 stores in the Pittsburgh area. John Engel, one of our great friends here of the Comic Corps, and we love the guy to death. And he's hopefully going to be back on some future shows as well. But
he actually got introduced or secured AWA for us.
Nice. Oh, damn, Chad, you said the magic 3 letters. Barrett's going to be like Vern Gagne, Mike Laurinaitis, or whoever the hell Animal Hawk's name was. Oh, Rick Martel, AWA fame. How about you, Drew Manchu? What do you got going on?
Well, I'll tell you what, my computer had a little bit of a blackout hiccup with Windows this week, and things went down. It took a while to get them back up. But I was able to release the Comics preview videos for new comics coming out next week. Check that out. If you need something to watch while you're at the gym, there's some great royalty-free music on there.
Oh, yeah.
Nice highlights on some of the great variants that are coming out, and no pesky voiceovers. You don't have to listen to me. You can just listen to some music and watch some comics flow by. Go to that video, leave a comment, let me know what you're looking forward to. Also, on the community tab, I'm taking votes for what you guys want me to review next week. So there are 5 different options up there. If you want me to review one of those books, just go ahead and vote for it. Also, Modern Men is going to be on Monday, and we're going to be talking Why the Last Man. So get ready for that one.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, on my channel, on the Great Legend Show, hopefully we're going to be doing our 1/4, 1 life. I've got this kick-ass game. Might do it tomorrow morning. I'm not really sure. We'll have to see. And then we got a Legends cooking show coming up. So I'm going to film that. I mean, I've got a couple of recipes. I can't tell you what it's going to be, but it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yes.
After what, I mean, I haven't done one of those in like 7 years, but man, let me tell you. Look, I'll kind of filibuster here. And I'll let y'all know, like, kind of where I am in life opposed to where other folks are. But so I used to do video gaming. I used to do in cooking. I did video gaming and cooking before I did comic books. Some of my highest viewed videos, you know, a lot of the young guns are into this, the big views and the 200,000 views and all that other kind of crap, being 4th in the world at on YouTube in gaming for 1 week because I had the most comments on a video on my Gears of War raffle 4th in the world on YouTube in a week most discussed video. Man, that's right. Back in the day, I was making that clout money. But then when I started doing comic books, it they didn't really take off. But anyway, when the Great Chef Show was making that food, man, I was on cloud 9. I was like Emerald Lagasse, getting all saucy. But man, I won't bother y'all with that. But anyways, I didn't do the things for money. I did what I was passionate about. I was tired of cooking. I was tired of gaming. And even though I was getting, $300 a month doing those kind of videos, because those were my highest viewed videos, I did not keep doing those videos because I chose the videos I made. The videos didn't choose me. So remember that, do what you're happy about and keep that passion, and you're going to have great reaction. Chad, my good man, what do we got planned? Are you going to give them any of the lowdown?
I'm just cutting it. I'm cutting to the other night. So Legend isn't telling everybody everything, but he wasn't feeling that good all week, and it started bugging me because I hadn't heard from him. I haven't heard from anybody, so I called him, and
I could show you my legs, man. They're just scars all over them.
So we ended up talking like late night, and we were going through his videos. Jeez, I mean, it was like, because there's this one particular video that Legend did that actually like kind of prompted me to like stay doing YouTube and kind of like form the comic core and stuff. It was your 20, it had to be 2018 year in the review, like the New Year's one, and you were like, you weren't going to make as many videos, you're not doing as many auctions, but you were going to start like promoting and going into other chats, making comments, every video you watch, you're going to leave a comment, you're going to watch more videos. And so we started going through it, dude. We were laughing at some of the things. We saw Little Ledge. Little Ledge, if you guys don't know, Little Ledge is not little no more.
That's Evil Huntsman. He's a bad boy. He's good at gaming, very good at gaming.
We went from the great Shemp Howard to
the Hall of Famers.
Shemp Howard retirement party to the Legend coming back. The Skylanders. What was his name? Billy Bob?
Bobby Lee, old cousin Bobby
Lee. That's right. Bobby Lee still in
deals. That was pre-auctions, man. I was doing Bobby Lee's shotgun deals before I even did live auction.
Yeah, man. We had a blast just pissing around on that.
Mm-hmm. Those were the days. Every damn video, 10K views, 12K views. And let me tell you, the reason why I got out of that is it was stressful on my marriage. I wasn't being the father I was supposed to be because I was on that fucking computer doing videos. And don't get me wrong, I love doing the videos and everything, but I wasn't being a good father to my sons, and I was missing out on pivotal moments in their life. And when finally, my wife, got my fucking head open about that, and we went to counseling and stuff, I knew that, she's exactly right. I haven't been spending the time with my own children and my own wife because I was spending so much of it on YouTube and chasing that goddamn clout, and then once 2016 hit and some other things, light bulbs went off in my head, I decided, what I really wanted to do, and that was to help improve each and every one of you and improve your lives, and so you wouldn't make the same bad mistakes that I've made.
Yeah,
so
it was a blast,
shit, though, man. We had a lot of fun, though, man.
And then the night,
I
think it was Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was Sunday night. We all started that damn game, man. Listen, Carson,
Edward game.
Carson was so shitty. He's like, I'm uninstalling this. I hate this game.
He lost 92 cents in a hand of poker, and it was like the end of the world for him. Carson's like, this guy keeps shooting me. Chad's like, this guy keeps shooting me. I'm like, all right, guys, let's just play some poker. And they got all mad that we were taking their money.
The best part is Drew and Carson end up going on this mission, and I'm trying to find Drew, and I kept on looking at the map, And here I turn off the map and I'm hogtied. And I see somebody run away. And I'm like, some asshole just hogtied me. He goes, that was me. It was Legend.
Actually, Legend's like, oh shit, is that you, Chad?
Yeah,
As he's dragging him to his death.
And I just walked over his body like 2 or 3 times. And he just died. That was awesome.
And then Drew, I finally get to the wagon and I'm trying to find Drew.
Yep.
And this dude comes and he's firing and all these guys are shooting him. So I shoot the dude.
It was me.
Yeah, we're getting better though.
Talk to your teammates, damn it.
Oh man. That's the fun we have. So I mean, we're on the Discord server now. So if y'all have Discord.
That's Uncle Drew.
Shut up, I'm dancing.
You know, he was on Queer Street and liking it. It's classic Scott Hall line when Sean Waltman fell off a top turnbuckle to the outside of the ring because he screwed up a spot. Waltman hits his head, he gets concussed, and then he had to run and take the money out. It was Monday Night Raw, 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Razor Ramon, and then Scott Hall says the story. He said, yeah. He was on, it's called, when you're knocked out, it's called you're on Dream Street. But Hall said he was on Queer Street and liking it. I was like, oh my God. But yeah, man, we've always had a great time when we chatting or when we're on the Facebook audios or the Discords or gaming.
Gaming is, we got to get Cat on an Xbox.
I know, man. I think we're gonna have to get some more of those
Look.
donation chat.
Next gen, I'll buy the damn Xbox. Okay.
Well, I think they're. I think on the.
Yeah, we're all upgrading to PS5s though, so.
Yeah.
The PS5 is, I think, they're cross-platform, right?
Yeah.
No.
I thought that was.
I thought it was
They're all cross-gen.
Oh,
Not
okay.
cross-platform.
all backwards compatible shit.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Maybe we can get her a good Xbox One S when they come on sale during Christmas or something. Because Red Dead, I mean, the games are still freaking awesome. And 2K19 with Cat Wren, that'd be great.
Dude, 2K19 with Cat Wren would be hilarious. And then if Mark got on the sticks,
Mm-hmm.
we could give him that Orange Cassidy download that when you go to hit a move, he just lays down and goes.
Dude, I was thinking about giving him a triple power bomb on a table or something.
And then filming it and then showing it the next day to everybody.
Over and over again, too, on repeat.
Dude, I can tag on Chris Barrett just said, Chad, can you at least tag on Red Dead?
Oh, he tagged now. We're a
Chad knows how to tag. It's just we're not good at it.
We cheat.
Well, the ref doesn't count.
Chad is a cheater. Chad is a straight up heel in tag team matches. And the ref is just like, I'm scared of this dude. I can't tell him nothing.
Because
I step in the ring and the ref's like, 1, 2. I'm like, what are you pointing at?
Yeah, but we have a great time. Everybody in the chat, man, we appreciate y'all. Chad, do you want to give any special messages to Carson?
I miss Carson. I love Carson.
Carson, we love you.
Dude,
I miss you.
I think we
Carson,
all miss our good buddy Carson.
I'm happy
And
that
thank
Drew
you
made
again.
I miss Carson.
He made it just in time. Dude, he needs some of them caffeine pills. He's about to pass out.
You do look sleepy there, Drew.
It's been like a long couple of days, man.
You want a cuddle bunny? I'll send you a Gene.
Or a Mark.
I've got a dog. What do I ever
Send
do
him
with
Mark.
that?
I agree with Chad. Send Mark in the mail. He's already used to those big shipping boxes.
Yeah, send me Mark. And I'll call
Mark.
him.
I'll send you Mark.
Well, you know what? I think Carson's in the rafters, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and say good night. And this is the great legend for Cat, Mark BKR, the superstar, Drew Manchu, and the founder and one of the best, Chad CBR. We're saying peace out and God bless.
Bye.